Yeah. Oh no, look at the cord still hanging.
She had twins. Maybe she was huge. She was so big.
She wasn't as big as the other ones. She might be having another one. Hi, Seawees. We're outside now, huh? She's gonna be next. She ain't looking very comfortable. Trying to guess who's gonna have how many babies we're gonna have. So we got 2 from her. She only had 1 last year. She's looking about the same as last year. Her mom's had triplets 2 years in a row, and that's the other triplet. The other one is that black one out there. So it'll be interesting to see. Definitely looks like she's carrying more than 1. She's not looking very comfortable either. She's been kind of straying off on her own. She's the first one that we saw get bred the day that we released the buck. She's pretty wide. She only had a single last year too. So it's hard to tell tell sometimes. Sometimes they just carry it. I think she looked big last year too and just had the single, but you can see how wide this one is right here. Not very big goats, but she's probably, I think the last time I weighed her she was 80 something pounds, maybe 80 pounds at the most. She only had a single last year too. She was about 160 pounds. And her single is this buckling over here, the white one. Out here trying to catch a goat give birth. See, we have the first one was yesterday. She had twins, twin buckling and doeling. But she's a really small goat. I didn't think she was gonna have twins. We actually weren't sure if she was even bred. We left the bucks in with her until a couple weeks ago, so we didn't know how far along she was, basically. We got 10 more that are bred. Hard to tell. Some carry them heavier. This girl right here, she's about to give, I think, right now. And I'm trying to keep my distance. This is usually what they'll do, is they'll go off on their own, find a spot to do it. She's just been kind of standing there, tail up. Her udder's really swelled up. Just not walking comfortably. This one also, she's getting close. So she's trying to hide. They try to find a private spot. She'll probably have them right in that brush. Trying to catch this all on video, but usually they like to seclude themselves, find a spot, like the nastiest, gnarliest spot on your property to have their babies. So brush piles. If I had like a mud pit, they'd probably have it in the mud pit, but it'd have to be on the coldest rainy day and windy. But I got one that I think is about to pop, and she is in the shelter, which they usually don't use the shelters. But so far, most of these, well, most of them are all first timers. So this would be the first babies. All but 3 are first timers. I got one that's got a white discharge coming out. Kind of see the bucks are getting a little crazy. This black one was actually in one of the little shelter. And this tan one is in the big shelter that I actually have a heat lamp in that they don't use. It's really hard to tell if they're gonna have, by the looks of them. I think after a while you get to know them, but this one right here, this one that just had twins yesterday, you can barely see them in my selfie mode camera, but we weren't even sure if she was bred. She just carried it different. Well, she slimmed right down when she had them. She's pretty much this. Yeah, she's the smallest goat we have. She had twins, but we weren't even sure if she was bred. The one that we know got bred first is the one that is now looking like she might be having them tonight. This Dalmatian colored one is this one's mother, so it'll be the baby's grandmother. These 3, 1, 2, 3 are triplets from a goat that I sold who has always had triplets since I've had it. I sold her, and I think she might have had triplets again. Could be wrong, but I think she had triplets last year too. This one right here, she's very wide. So I'm thinking she might have twins because she had this buckling over here, but he was and he was pretty big when he was born. So she's either carrying a very big kid right now, or she's got twins at least. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The triplets, she always looked big even when she wasn't pregnant. She looked pregnant. Just the way I don't know, she was always bloated or what. I always had baking soda out here just in case. But she always just carried like very wide. And you can see them. The black one was the heaviest one before they were bred, at least. And then you kind of see it's hard from the side. You got to get them from the back or the front. But to me, that one in the back right there looks the biggest. What happens usually is you'll try to catch it on film, and you'll leave and go inside for a second, and it'll be a minute, and then you'll look out the window and they're on the ground already. So it's really hard to catch it, and it's just kind of weird how they're real private about it. So far, I've noticed they start separating themselves, like that one over there. Her mom usually has twins or triplets too. But this one in here is the one that I think's about to. She's actually standing now. Sometimes I'll start digging in the ground. They're about to. Trinidad, the one that's eating the block right now, she will dig a huge hole when she's about to. Black one right there in the middle. You can see her discharge from here. This one's just trying to be alone, so she could be going next. Well, there's the one that I said was going to have a baby. She had 3. Oh, let's see. You got one girl. Can't tell on that one yet. Looks like it could be a girl. They check their umbilical cords and cut them and then iodine them, but bedded in them, but you can see the spots. I'm gonna let her dry them off first. The spot right there, spot right there, and then the other spots right there. 2 tan or white, can't tell if they're just dirty. And then you get 1, so you have to feed 3. Looks like a, I can't tell, it looks like a, yeah, it's a boy. Buckling. Alright, get the update. It's the next day. Just like I said last night, that kidded. So basically about half an hour after I left, she dropped the baby and then came home and there were 2 more. So there they are. And they're trying to figure out see the ones that were born yesterday, just a little more spunky, a little more energy to them. They stayed outside in the 30-something degrees last night out by the tree where she dropped them, and it's just how they do it. You provide them shelter and heat, and then what I did was, don't just, if you guys have, wherever they drop them, unless it's real extreme, try to, if you can plan it ahead of time. I say extreme, but it's not really. It was kind of windy though, but we don't get snow here, but it does get frosty by the morning time. But if you're ever gonna try to put the goats in a place where it's not exposed to the elements, try to do it before they kid. So move the pregnant doe in before the weather hits or before nighttime or whatever. Or if you're gonna move the babies, move them all together with the mother if you can. Because sometimes the mothers will get, especially first timers, these are all first timers, they're gonna get disoriented, and even you could place them right close to the babies and the babies will be crying. See this mother right here is pushing over the other babies that aren't hers. They know whose, but just where they have them is where they know they are. So at least for the first day. So they get really confused if you start moving stuff around, moving their babies. There's a lot of odor that's dropped from the babies and her cleaning them. That's where they bond. So they'll clean out their babies, dry them off, and that's where most of their bonding is done in the beginning to establish a relationship or whatever you want to call it. So try to leave them be or do it preventatively. And move them before the elements hit. Otherwise you start causing confusion. And so anyways, this morning I weighed them, and I got a 5-pounder. The smallest one's 5. I got 5'6", and the buckling. I got 2 does and a buckling. So far we have 2 bucklings and 4 doelings. It's a pretty good ratio. Don't plan on keeping any of these, but I think the buckling, this buckling was 6.2 pounds. So 6.2, 5, and 5 point. I have to go back and do 5.2, I think. 5.6. So 5'6", 5, and 6.2. That's pretty good weights for a first timer. And having triplets, usually with triplets you'll get smaller weights. It's not bad. Yeah, so she had hers. It's kind of easy. The buckling's the noticeably larger one. And the other buckling is also, I'm not even pointing to the right area. I can't see him, but he's right there. He's also a brown with a white face. And this guy is just I'm not trying to block his sun. You see, he just has a little dot triplets and twins together, so I got a tag number 11, 12, and 13, or 10, 11, and 12, I think. And those two over there are 15 and 16. And I think I'm only have 4 tags left. I'm gonna have to order some tags, and they're gonna be here hopefully soon. He's starting to sun. She has them pinned down, so she knows where they're at. See, she knows that one's not hers. She's gonna probably. Yeah, he's gone. He's got a little bit of poops. I wiped him down yesterday with a wet rag and dried him off. I just didn't want it sticking to him and getting like a rash or anything like that. Sore. He's nursing well. I haven't seen all the babies nurse yet. I don't know which one. I'd like to see this little girl nurse. I'm sure she is. But I always like to see just that they are, at least. If she hadn't yet, I'd imagine she wouldn't be feeling too well. She looks like she might have a blue eye. That is definitely a blue eye. Well, her too. They all might have that eye. Let me look. Let me see. Yeah, I think. Yeah, those look blue for sure. These not so much. I'm gonna have some blue-eyed goats. Oh, yeah, they're not blue, but look at that. She got a little black mark right there. That's interesting. And this little girl, she's got a little more spunk to her. See, I gotta see this little one drink. She's got a. No, she don't got no black on her. Oh, she's running. She got a little spunk to her. Alright. Catching some rays. I like it when they stay in the heat. It's rare. They usually. Oh, she actually. Eventually all the babies will start playing together and stuff. They're just right now they're kind of trying to figure everything out. The moms are trying to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. See, he's little. He's running around. They'll actually start eating regular food too, along with nursing. They want to play with the other babies, but the other babies are a whole day younger than them. Or 2 days older. I think they were born on Thursday. Yeah, they're Thursday, today's Saturday. You see the difference in the stability they have in their legs and running around already in 2 days. These guys are only about 12 hours, 14, 15 hours old. All the rest of them were out back. No telling who's going to drop next. I haven't seen any signs yet. But her I could tell for sure. All that stuff will dry up and it'll wipe off eventually. No point in going in there and manually doing it. None of these goats needed assistance. No hands-on with pulling a goat out. She's over there looking for milk, but oh, she's slapping her sister. Alright, that's good. Let them huddle up together in the sun. A little breezy, guys. Kind of cold, actually. Goats do really well. I mean, they were wet when they were born, and you know, they can have a baby dried off within a half an hour in nursing already. But when you only got 3 of them, it takes a little bit longer to get them all clean. So they're wet for a good hour and a half, 2 hours, or at least one of them were. Slim down she got. Dropping all the babies, both of them. Oh, that ain't yours. See, they just kind of push them away. Some of them are though. See, she's chasing her babies, or she's walking off with the wrong mom. Mom's like, no. She might be headed back out to that tree. Importance is, you learn something every day too with these. Leave them where they give them birth. Let the mom take them away when it's time. And they got their feet under them and they start following them around. But this is the exact tree she had them under. There's a placenta and everything right there. Basically just around this tree. There's one goat that had babies up against this palm tree last year. I wonder if she's gonna use the same tree. That'll be interesting to find out. Been finding some turds out here that don't look like goat. They look more like dog. Haven't seen any coyotes or anything or dogs on the property, but that's what I'm coming out here for, is check the fence line to look for footprints. Haven't lost any babies, but the goats are pretty aggressive towards dogs. The moms are, even our dogs. But that don't mean nothing if it's a coyote, it's wild. So I'm gonna come out here and look for some footprints.